Welcome back to another episode of Fantasy Football RPG. I'm Mike. That's Evan. That's Jagger. You recognize him from our running back rankings. Jagger loves him some LeQuint Allen, the running back out of Syracuse. I think he's fine, and we're going to talk about it so that he can try to convince me and make me love him. Before we get into it, like, subscribe, send it to your mom, all the good stuff. Tell Evan how much you love him. But a little background on Allen before we talk about the nitty gritty. August 5th, 2004 for his birthday, so he is a young lad, will turn 21 over the summer. Three-star recruit, committed to Syracuse, played his whole career at Syracuse. Got his first start in the Pinstripe Bowl, fun fact, where he was very good. It was a fun watch. Highly productive both in 2023 and 2024, over 1,000 yards rushing. The big juicy thing that people are going to point to: 2023, 38 receptions. 2024, 64 receptions. Evan, how much of that was going from whatever the heck they had to Kyle McCord, and how much of that was Allen taking a step forward?
A lot of it was Kyle McCord. How the offense ran, it also benefited based off of this offense having one of the easiest schedules in the ACC to be able to go up against. They took absolute advantage of it, and Kyle McCord's actually a good quarterback from college standpoints.
Okay, there you go.
He took some
Yes.
steps forward on top of all of it, and yeah, I don't think it was a huge step forward. I think we saw exactly what the receiving profile was out of Allen from 2023. And sure, it was a baby step, though. It wasn't a giant leap forward.
Yeah. Uh, let's just skip ahead. Jagger, you have LeQuint Allen as your running back 4 in the 2025 class. You guys can find that over at Football Guys. There's a rookie guide where it has Jagger's rankings, my rankings, Dave, Alfredo, all the good guys, all the people you want to bet on. And why are you so high on LeQuint?
I kind of told you this on the Football Guys show. I am not a data bro, but I quantify my film grades and receiving weighs highly, especially when you think of fantasy. And that's just because of the way the NFL works. The NFL doesn't want a player who comes off the field or tips their hand. Yes, they want to use multiple backs, but let's say like even when Jameer Gibbs or David Montgomery are in, David Montgomery still catches passes. Jameer Gibbs will still come in and pass block and do whatever. Same thing with the Steelers. Jalen Warren and Najee Harris can do both things, even though one or the other does something better. And
Mm-hmm.
LeQuint Allen is just a profile of a guy who has that workhorse mentality, or whatever that means. Or if he comes in to a committee, he has the role that scores points. That receiving ability is real. It's not even
Mm-hmm.
just a tweener. I think he's a good back, and he's consistently played out in the slot. Was that a little bit because of the talent available? Yes. But again, if he was just catching screens and dump offs and it was working against mediocre competition, I would say something. But again, playing in the slot, flexed out wide, beautiful anger routes, and Aronde Gadsden was there. They weren't just kind of doo-doo. So
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of why I have him a little bit higher than most people.
Yeah. One of the things that I was a little worried about, so Syracuse listed him at 201. I was concerned about the size. He has the frame, like he is 6 foot. But he also runs with a very high center of gravity. He still keeps the contact balance pretty well though, which I was impressed with. Like normally when you see a high rusher, you see those ankle dives, leg dives. Those are taking him out pretty easily. Like he can scoot. I think so. I had him as RB20 in our early version. I try and make those by myself, locked in my mom's basement. Uh, I'm rewatching him. He's better than RB20. He's not RB4 to me, but I think with the size, the pass catching, with those capabilities, if you play in a PPR league, it's going to be great. Even if you don't play in a PPR league, like he's going to get opportunities to get the ball in space, which is where he does well. How do you both feel about his long speed, his ability to turn maybe that 10-yard gain into a 30-yard gain, that 30-yard gain into a 70-yard gain?
I'll let you go first on this one, Jagger.
This is one that's on my re-review because you brought that up on there. I think it's fine, but it's also where was he playing at in the ACC?
Mm-hmm.
The ACC is like 2 steps above Mountain West, and you hear me complain about Mountain
Yes.
West stats every day. Um, it's all about the combine on there, and will the receiving ability outweigh that for coaches there? I'm not sure. I think someone like Woody Marks is speedier, but I think LeQuint Allen is just the better receiver, even with Woody Marks being the receiver that he is. So,
Mhm.
Evan.
Yeah, I definitely have concerns. Watched him get tracked down a handful of times. Watched him not be able to get fully to the edge with linebackers coming inside out on him. So some of those things kind of concern me. Having watched a couple of Syracuse games, obviously haven't watched all of the Syracuse games at this point, but watched a handful of them, especially in season. And then I have a hard time with thinking that the way that he runs is truly meant for track speed. So I really don't think that he's going to be a speedy guy at the combine. I think he's going to be one of those guys that's going to have a very mid RAS score when we look at it and all is said and done.
Yeah.
If he wins a 4.5, what does that do for you?
Are we talking low 4.5? High 4.5.
Like 4.5 on the dot.
A high 4.5 is totally different to me for a running back than a low 4.5. I know it doesn't seem like that much, but I mean, to me, that's a difference between being able to pull away from, mid safeties, mid speed safeties at the NFL level.
Also, you got to consider sometimes with pull away, it's conditioning too, and a lot of
Sure.
times with running back, it's like what is their 10 yards? What can they
Yep.
do for me within 10 yards? So let's just say 4.55. Let's split the difference.
Yeah, I mean 4.55. He's basically viewed maybe slight tick up. I think he's a high 4.5 guy personally, which I think a lot of people in the draft community would look at and say, "Yeah, I really don't want to touch that."
I think that's completely fair. I'm looking up. I'm on the PFF, super into things. The breakaway percentage went down every year. The missed tackles force per carry went down every year. Probably because he was just getting a bajillion passes.
I was about to say, I think that's just a volume thing, man. He was
Yes.
their whole offense. That's just a
Yes.
volume problem.
Everyone and their mom knew LeQuint Allen was getting the ball, and he
Yeah.
did, and he was pretty good with it. We're running up on time here. Bottom line, Jagger, why should people draft LeQuint Allen?
Pass catching, guys. The joke is like a lot of these guys you think are tough runners, they're going to give you 1.5 fantasy points. Whereas someone like LeQuint Allen, they can give you 2.5 fantasy points just because they caught a pass and they could do things downfield. And that's what the NFL values more than just a guy who can run hard.
Yep. Evan, do you think people should draft LeQuint Allen at the 303?
303, no. If you told me late third, sure.
What?
Okay.
Get out of here. Okay, let's cut it.
That's it. That's the whole show. No, LeQuint Allen, better at football than I thought he was going into the guide. I still think around that 303 range, depending on landing spot, depending on draft capital, we can see where it goes. It's going to be a polarizing prospect. Be sure to check him out as the combine comes up. Don't draft him yet, unless you like Jagger. Thanks for coming on, buddy. See ya. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Fantasy Football RPG Podcast. If you made it this far, be sure to like and subscribe. If you want to check out written content, head over to lastwordonsports.com.
Don't the goblins get you.